try to introduce myself.
Filip Petrušev.
Just a normal guy. I enjoy eating simple things and I do simple things. That's it, basically. I think I just matured, as a player. I always had, offensive talents, but just playing EuroLeague the last 4 or 5 years, I really saw where I can, make the biggest advantage and where I can really be dominant in EuroLeague and where I can, help my team offensively and make advantages and make a difference. So I've just been trying to do that, and offense always came easier to me, and that's kind of like what I naturally do. I have the trust of my teammates here, and we all understand what our roles are. So last 2 years, like you said, have been really good for me. I've gained a lot of experience, and I know the teams in EuroLeague, so I know kind of how they guard me and if there's a double team coming or not. So just it's once you get the experience, it's easier to make the reads, and I always want to make the right play for the team, and whether it's scoring or passing, just do what's the best for the team.
And you've played in different systems and countries. How has Dubai helped you develop and evolve as a player? What's different there?
They brought me with certain expectations, and this is the first time where those expectations have been set before even starting any games. So I'm still kind of like a young player. I'm not a veteran for sure. So at that younger age, maybe a little bit, having big expectations from a team and big goals, and the team that needs you to do certain things, it's definitely makes you a little bit more responsible, and I really want to make them fulfill all the goals they have for me, and give that belief back that they have in me with performing at the highest level I can.
When you watch yourself play now, what part of your game are you the most proud of?
The offense, for sure. That's something that I've been doing my whole life, and that I really like doing and I enjoy doing. And then obviously defense is a little bit different story. I'm really trying to get better there, and because it doesn't come naturally for me, so I really have everybody, coaching staff pushing me to get better there, and that's really what I'm focusing more on right now.
Let's go back a bit. When did you first realize that basketball could become more than just a passion?
I mean, it was definitely when I left Serbia. I was 14 and I left to go to Spain, to Baskonia for their younger categories, and I knew there was no going back because I already decided to leave home and pursue this dream of mine, and I just knew like I could not go back any steps down. It needs to go only up from there, and I really took that personally, and I didn't go back.
Was there a coach, or a moment, or a turning point in your career, in your life, that shaped your mentality?
I mean, there was like a team. Let's say when I went back from the US, when I played 1 year in Mega, and where I was the main guy, and that was the first time at such a high level where I was the main guy on the team, and where they gave me all the freedom, and where I felt the maximum and the most I can do, which was really crazy. I had a crazy year, and that was when I really felt everything I can do. And once you feel it, and once you do it, and you show it on the court, you can always do it. It's just about after that having the right environment for you, and always playing with the same confidence and energy, knowing that you've done it before. So that was for sure one of the turning points in my career.
And you've experienced different leagues and levels. I would like to take chapter by chapter, maybe the important one, and you tell me what this chapter has teach you. Like, for example, what have you learned most in Gonzaga?
Gonzaga was definitely about the physicality, because you come in from high school and you're a freshman. You are on the court with some beasts like Rui Hachimura, Brandon Clark, Corey Kispert. I mean, there were so many NBA players on that team, and you feel they're just much more dominant. They're older. And it was really about the physicality and the level of the game that is played over there.
Maybe a more difficult chapter, the one in Anadolu Efes. What have you learned from this one?
I've learned about professionalism, because before that I was really in like the controlled environments, college, mega. That's where I learned professionalism. I learned that you're really on your own in the professional world, and nobody's gonna push you to do certain things, or nobody's gonna babysit you. If you're not playing, you need to work more on yourself to stay ready, or if you're playing, you need to take care of yourself. Professionalism was for sure number one thing that I learned in Efes.
And what about your stint in the NBA? What have you learned there?
I just learned it's a different game, different rules. Sometimes it's not really up to you, like it was in my case. It's a business, first of all, and you just need to get the opportunity, but you also need to be a little bit lucky to get the opportunity. So I just learned it's a completely different game than here. So like two different worlds, let's say.
And in Olympiacos?
That was the first time where I had a role on a really winning team. And I learned that really how important winning is and what the winning is about, because nobody cares about your stats, about what you've done before. They only care about winning the next game, and that's where I learned about winning. And
in Red Star the last season?
First of all, how passionate everybody is, and I learned to play, in a country that lives for basketball, and I knew that before. I was in a position where I was in a team that maybe is not respected enough or is not expected to win. So I was really in that underdog environment where it's constantly fighting in Europe to achieve something and to prove that a team can win or make the playoffs. So, I was playing like from behind, but I really learned about how important it is to fight and to compete against these bigger teams.
And now you're under contract with Dubai until 2028, if I'm not mistaken. How do you see things going there in this brand new project?
Yeah, like you said, everything is new, and there was, many uncertainties coming in. How is that going to look like? The traveling, the games, everything. But so far, it's been really amazing. The organization is at a high level, although it's only 1.5 years old. They're really trying to organize everything to go smooth, so we can only focus on basketball. So it's been way better than I expected, and it's only going to keep growing. It's only going to keep getting better. And I love it so far.
And at 30 now, established as a major player in EuroLeague, what legacy do you want to leave in this competition in the coming years? What do you want to accomplish?
That's what I'm working on. I wanna be one of the best players in my position. And I can play two positions, but I really want to establish myself and as one of the best players at my position. And I really want to just keep getting better, because I know when I feel that I can get better at so many things, and even though I'm playing at a high level, I know there is another level that I can get to. So I'm just focused on getting better every day and improving these things that I can improve to help ultimately to help the team win and to make legacy with the team, because it's so much better when you make something happen with the team and then with yourself than just for yourself. And it has much more weight, and people really care more about team winning or making it to the playoffs or to the Final Four, and or hopefully at some point winning the EuroLeague. So everything needs to come together.
How different is the basketball culture in Dubai compared to Europe and what you've known maybe in Serbia or Greece?
It's a lot different because they haven't had any success in basketball, but Dubai is such a diverse city, and so many, cultures and people from different countries live in Dubai. A lot of them are from Europe. So with Europe already having this cultural experience with basketball, there's a lot of, mostly like international people coming to the games, and it's growing game by game. And like this last double week where it was Olympiacos and Real Madrid, it was the biggest crowd I've seen so far in Dubai, and the atmosphere was amazing, and they're slowly creating their identity around the team with Gala Dubai and everything, the crew. So it's only growing, and it's only going to keep growing, and we're blessed to be a part of this project and this new culture, and hopefully, we make a name for ourselves.
Okay, when you're not training or playing, what does a perfect day look like for you?
Perfect day would be like a brunch, really big brunch, because I really like to eat. Everybody knows that. After that, I would need to go to a beach, and it would end with like amazing dinner again with some food, and then just relaxing, enjoying some Netflix, some TV shows with my family. So that's it. Simple, but also enjoyable.
Is the beach nice in Dubai? Not too hot, not too burning with the sun?
I've been to many beaches in my life. I was blessed to play in Athens also, so it's not bad. There are certain beaches that are at a really high level, so I like it. As long as there's a beach, it's fine with me.
Let's finish with if your career was a movie, what would be the title of this movie?
Wow. You said my career?
Yes, your career or your life.
I cannot remember like a specific movie.
You can create your own
like
title.
A time traveler, because except this contract that hopefully I will finish the whole contract in one place. Before this, I was moving after every year, after half a year, after, changing countries, continents. We joke in the team, that I've played for like half of the league already, constantly trying to find my home, and hopefully I found it this time. So I don't know if it's a movie or a cartoon. Alessi is coming home, so maybe that one.
That's all for me. Thank you, Filip.
Perfect. It was great. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.